It's going to be in Pilsen. Your show is going to be at, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Well, Pilsen, we've been doing a lot of coverage in Pilsen, and in that community alone, 10,000 people have been displaced due to the gentrification that's happening in the Pilsen community. We've talked to the Pilsen Alliance, the 25th Ward IPO, and for the most part, our wonderful Mayor Rahm Emanuel, and the aldermen
He's fantastic.
are just basically helping out the large real estate developers. But there is some pushback. We're seeing the community stand up, but again, a lot of people have already been impacted a lot in Pilsen. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the story all over the country right now. So there's no affordable housing. I live in Los Angeles, where they have a term for it, where you I know what they call food insecure, but something about rent when you're supposed to pay a third of your income in housing, like that's the max. But in California, you pay like 50%, and it's really screwing up people's family budgets, and there's no plan to fix any of it. They're still building, $1 million high-rise condominiums, and right in the shadow of, homeless people, tent cities and stuff like that. Yeah, so
we have a serious homeless problem here in the city of Chicago too, even though Mayor Emanuel says that there isn't one.
Yeah.
Again, he's doing a good job, according to Hillary Clinton during the 2016 primary.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's doing a great. Hopefully he'll privatize the sewer caps next or something.
Well,
is there anything?
I think that he already did that.
Look, he's already privatized a lot of stuff. He's also shut down 50 schools under his watch, and now 4 more, especially in the Inglewood community. So.
What? You guys sound like Putin puppets.
You know what?
To God, if you say bad things about the Democratic Party, you're just a bad person.
Oh well,
no, for sure.
Well, way ahead of you, Jimmy. We've been talking a lot of crap about the Democratic Party
that's the case,
for a
we
very
must be
long
on the
time.
payroll. I mean,
come on, you guys. We're supposed to unite against Trump. That's the whole point. The only bad thing in the world is Trump right now. That's it. We're not supposed to talk about the system that got us Trump. We're just supposed to talk about Trump and ignore all the horrible stuff. Eric Holder just tweeted out something I wanted to show you because he's such a horrible tool. Eric Holder, he's one of the big reasons why we got Trump. He tweeted out, Eric Holder calls to abolish ICE are a gift to Republicans.
Get rid of ICE. What do you make of those calls, and what would you say to him?
I mean, I don't think that substantively or politically that makes a great deal of sense. But I think we need to focus on that which is most important, and that's the separation of these kids from their parents. Now, ICE, played a role in that, but I think in some ways you're giving the Republicans a gift by saying we're going to have a debate now about whether ICE should be abolished.
That's what Eric Holder says. Calls to abolish ICE are a gift to Republicans. I guess he also looked at prosecuting Wall Street as a gift to Republicans because he didn't do that either.
He didn't do that, nope.
Yeah, you should have been here in the first hour. We were going all out on what ICE is just a mess. What the entire country is
how
right
ICE
now.
is a mess, and also how the fact that you have that guy Crowley still on the ballot, even though Alexandria Ocasio defeated him fair and squarely.
So people still, wag their finger at people who wouldn't support the corporatist warmonger Hillary Clinton, as if that would have made everything better. Her policies were about 1% better than the worst president we've ever had.
Maybe because I don't think so. I don't think she was ever really that. I think she was just the same kind of person. Remember, they encouraged him to run.
No, there's no doubt. You know what? You might be right.
Like I said, Trump at least is incompetent in how he acts. Hillary knew how to use the levers of power, and so even if she's slightly better, she makes her much worse.
So why do you think people get away? Why do you think no one ever wags their finger at the Clinton campaiin for doing the Pied Piper strategy, or the MSNBC media that propped up Trump, or even Les Moonves is on open microphone cheering Trump's ride. He says, Trump is bad for America, but he's good for CBS's profits. So run, Donald, run, and everyone laughs. No one ever points their finger at powerful people who made Donald Trump happen. All they have is voter shaming.
One of the reasons why I think people still have their glasses on the fact that Clinton was a good president, or even Hillary was a good senator, is the fact of his administration. There was a, budgetary surplus, and that he was better than George Bush Sr. and all this other stuff. There was a lot of assumptions that he was doing a good job, when in fact it was under Bill Clinton's watch that the corporations were able to buy up the media in the 1996
Telecommunication
Act, and then NAFTA. And a few other things.
Yeah, a lot of what we're dealing with right now, people don't want to sit. I think that as time goes on, it will continue because people are already starting to dislike Bill Clinton in a way that he didn't expect 10 years ago. And I think Obama is going to follow the same kind of path as people move farther away from him. Is that first you have people that have lived their entire lives in propaganda, especially if they've lived through the Cold War, and they've had their minds altered in a certain way to react to stimuli in a very specific way. It's almost a push button that the government and media can do, and if people believe in power, it's a very easily to make self-perpetuating cycle. But now we're in an area where, especially with the internet, different organizations that can challenge the power that you're talking about. There's all these different voices, which of course the mainstream media calls fake news, which is a challenge directly to their power. But that's only lasting for a while. That's why you have Fox's median age at 72, you have CNN's at 70, you have MSN's at 68. The power that they have gained through that lifetime and that certain viewpoint is literally dying off, and it's being replaced by people with different points of view. They don't get their news from CNN, they don't get their news from Fox, they don't get their news from any other mainstream show. They're all on the internet. The business model itself, we were talking in the previous hour, the business model itself of television is dying fast. The only reason that they're going with Trump is they know that they're going to... TV's dying. It's a dying industry. The question is when. It's the way it's set up. It's going to collapse very quickly when it collapses. You already have more money from last year from advertisers going into the internet than is going on TV. So that business model is already falling apart. So they're just grasping at straws.
Which is why the establishment news media is trying as hard as they can to discredit YouTube and independent news media. And that's why they are talking about fake news even more than Donald Trump talks about fake news. And it's all about propaganda. So when Donald Trump talks about it, it's propaganda. And when CNN talks about fake news, by the way, their apple banana thing, how many freaking bananas did they tell us was an apple already? A bunch. Yeah. And it seems like every other month they have to retract a story about Russiagate, and they have to admonish their reporters, and somebody goes on. And so CNN is propaganda, just as MS. You telling me that Rachel Maddow doesn't appeal to the kids? That's funny.
Well, they're all friends with each other.
They
They are all friends with each other. Same thing like how the Democrat and Republican establishment are all friends with each other.
Rachel Maddow famously said that after Roger Ailes died, she called him a friend.
Yeah,
a guy who was one of the biggest rapey sexual harassers in the world. He would drop his pants in front of women and say, "Give me a." Can I swear on here?
Actually, no. So unfortunately, we have the demon that's called the FCC over.
Oh, this is on the radio.
Yes.
Oh, this is fantastic. Then look at that. I'm also on the radio, so I know how that is.
Yeah. Luckily, it'll be on YouTube as well.
Yeah, so, I think it's funny to hear a bunch of guys on the radio talking about TV being a dead media. But anyway,
touche.
You got. But
that's why we.